Welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis. You're watching my review of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Episode 3, The Ghosts of Illyria. That is quite the ominous name. But before we get into it, it's time for my obligatory like, share, and subscribe, and comment on this video, because I need that to happen so that these hits can keep coming. Getting right into it. Before I start, I'd like to say I am in love with this show, and I am particularly in love with this cast. I think they are utterly beautiful. Just look at them. Look at them. It should be illegal how beautiful they are. Kudos to the casting director. You see, the thing is, I'm sorry, my apologies, I had to cut that part. I cut it and put it to the end because my crushes on the actresses of Star Trek Strange New World has nothing to do with my review of this episode. As far as the episode goes, I loved it because it is a Una and M'Benga episode where we get to focus, once again, ensemble-centric, keeping real Trek alive. We actually get to see views of their world, their side stories, and things like that. Wonderful to be able to see Una actually captain the ship with the absence of Pike. And this strongly has to do with unfortunately some people would call it a trope, but I just call a classic plot device for Star Trek, where you're stuck on a ship where a crazy space disease is affecting your crew. They've done multiple episodes in probably every series to date about that, and this is a pretty interesting take on it, where the crew becomes obsessed with energy, light, and radiation, and they need to be exposed to it as much as humanly possible. It created some great visual effects, and it was just an interesting take on that whole disease plot. We firmly got to see the usual heroes, Pike and Spock, put on the back burner in exchange for these other cast members, and I really enjoyed it. I do believe that there was some slight hiccup in it, and it doesn't completely destroy the episode. I just wish that the reveal of who Una is and what her backstory was not her just confessing it. I wish that someone had discovered it. I wish in a drama, I want my dramas to be dramatic. And I think it would have been better if M'Benga was looking at her biological scans and realized that she was not whatever species she has down in Starfleet database. He should have confronted her, and it would have worked better, because at the end, when she confronts him with his dark secret, it's like the two are hip to a secret with one another. That would have been a far more dramatic attempt for her just to blurt out the truth. I also felt like it wasn't foreshadowed. I mean, obviously something was up. She had the disease for 2 seconds, and it went away. I actually particularly love that thing where she's like ripping at her uniform. I love those uniforms so much. I was like, don't rip it. It's so beautiful. If you don't want it, I'll take it. I'll take it. Una, come on, Chin Riley. The real question is anyone actually upset that this plot has been used already for a character? It was used, obviously. Julian Bashir of DS9 was also a secret augment, and the dark secret was that Starfleet could not possibly know. Obviously, she's a different type of augment, but still, it goes along the same line. However, instead of her just being a general superhuman, they seem to have given her some sort of radiation energy-based powers, which I think it's cool that one member of the cast gets that we should have that sort of like strange, odd powers that will be explored in greater detail further down the line. Can't wait to see what they're all about. It's interesting that they gave it to number 1. That was surprising, and I'm totally into it. And because they do have that energy-based thing, I'm cool that it's technically a recycled backstory for a character. I also particularly love that at the end of the episode, the whole idea that 2 of our main characters were hiding secrets in the dark, but the story was about coming out into the light. And I like how her end commander's log addresses that entire thing and kind of brings the episode together. It ties it up in a neat bow, which I respected immensely. Also, M'Benga, as you know, that these shows recently have not been great at keeping up with canon, particularly Discovery. Sometimes forget the timeline that they're in, and they accredit technologies or events that shouldn't have already happened. This show is no exception. Particularly is M'Benga is a lieutenant commander in his few appearances in the original series. However, he's a commander in this series. Now, I was wondering, does he get demoted? And so this is perfect, that he's hiding his diseased daughter in the pattern buffer of the emergency transporter in sickbay. I love it. It creates so much drama and tension. Although many will say that this was a very sentimental episode, particularly the reveal of both characters and how they ended their episode, I really enjoy it. I like being sentimental about my Star Trek characters. Star Trek is really good at making you really fall in love with the characters and that you feel like they're your family or your friends and you wish they were your coworkers. These people are definitely not my coworker. My coworker. Just kidding. I love you. That's a joke too. I'm unemployed. I don't have coworkers. But that's neither here nor there. I find it super interesting that Pike is running a ship with a crew that has a ton of dark secrets. If this version of Pike seems to avoid his future of becoming a mechanically wheelchair-bound, deformed, crippled person, he might end up in a court-martial because if the Admiral finds out that all these crew members have a deep, dark secret that he knew about and he is actively hiding, it's not going to be good for anyone's career. But I like it. It builds the tension. I'm digging this very much. I'm going to give this episode a B+. I think this show is incredibly strong, and it's actually the show that I look forward to week after week. I can't wait for Thursday. I'm going to wake up and I'm like, during breakfast, I am going to watch the crap out of Star Trek and probably by the afternoon, watch it again. Totally into it. But the real question is, what did you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comment. What do you think of Una now secretly being the Dark Phoenix? What did you think of M'Benga's whole situation? Please let me know, and remember to like, share, and subscribe, and keep tuning in to Voice of the Fat Mantis for more of these reviews, analysis, and of course more Trekkie love. I love you all. Until next time, live long and prosper. Nurse Chapel is the type of woman that you have a crush on. She's the girl next door, and you have such a crush on her, but you can never speak up because, she's totally out of your league. And her is the girl next door that you will ask out because she's a cadet and she's a little less intimidating, and not intimidating is good. While Una Chin Riley is the woman that you marry. Oh yeah, you marry her. She's going to be quite the partner for you in your life. While Lan Noonien Singh is the type of girl you marry, but then later on get divorced from. But years later realize you're still in love, and then you guys get remarried. And Ortega's you don't want to marry her. She's a liberated woman. She does not want to marry you. However, she would be a good partner for the rest of your life, your forever girlfriend. And T'Pring is the woman that you marry, but you got to keep showering her in wealth and affection and attention all the time because she's a high maintenance woman and she could slip through your fingers very easily. And you're on the lookout for all those guys who are after her. Did I miss anybody?